Yesterday, special forces evacuated the U.S. Embassy over in Sudan. The good news is we got everybody out. 100 troops and 3 helicopters carry out the operation. It was brilliant. And this is amid the ongoing fighting between the Sudanese military forces that is still going on right now. There are new reports tonight that China is hoping to mediate the conflict. China's already brokered a peace deal with Saudi Arabia and Iran. Still don't know how that happened. What would this mean for the U.S. influence in the region if China basically has the predominant influence in the area? Congressman Michael Waltz represents Florida, former Green Beret. Congressman, how important was that military operation last night to get our people out of the embassy?
Well, Brian, I want to give my fellow special operators and the people, the intelligence community and others behind the scenes, real kudos for pulling off a great operation. I mean, just take a step back, though. Why does Sudan matter so much? Well, number one, it's the 3rd largest country in Africa. It has huge amounts of natural resources, including gold, which is one of the reasons Russia's so interested. And thirdly, it has a port on the Red Sea that 10% of the global shipping, of global trade, passes by as it gets to the Suez Canal. So this is an important country in geopolitics. The Russians are there in a big way because they want the gold and natural resources, and China's there in a big way because they want the same, and they want to control access to the Suez Canal that 10% of global trade passes through.
Congressman, this is our 4th embassy we've abandoned, and I'm glad everybody's safe, and they got to make the decision. And now we're on the ground trying to get some of our 16,000 Americans on the ground out. And this operation's ongoing in the middle of a civil war, it seems, where over 400 are dead, and I think most of the hospitals have been shut down. This is important. But there's no proof that China left their embassy or Russia left theirs. In fact, there's a presence of the Wagner group there, that mercenary force on the ground. So this is the same Sudan that was part of the Abraham Accords, wasn't it, during the previous administration, brought into the family of Middle Eastern nations recognizing Israel?
Yeah, you've got China in there, as the superpower, as the mediator. But just 2 years ago, Brian, Sudan was part of the Abraham Accords. It was cutting deals with Israel. It was part of President Trump's Middle East peace plan, something that nobody said could be done, something that any other president would have received a Nobel Peace Prize for. And now it's become completely unraveled. The United States is abandoning the scene. And once again, like in so many other places, you have China and Russia filling the void. And, oh, by the way, we pulled all of our government people out with Americans left behind. And I'm hearing from the same groups, the same groups that had to go rescue Americans in Afghanistan, groups like Dynamo, Allied Airlift, and others, are now being asked by the State Department to go in on their own dime to go help Americans get out. I mean, it's just par for the course for this administration's foreign policy that has the world on fire. You
mean the men who cash in their 401ks to help out people in Afghanistan are being asked to go help Americans out in Sudan for free? Don't we have a government for that in operations? Incredible.
Right.
Go ahead, real quick.
I asked one of them, are you getting any money from the State Department for this? They said, no, we're going on our own dime. But you know what? Americans are left behind, and we never, ever leave Americans behind. We're going to go, even though it's on their own money, because they're just great Americans.
Right. And by the way, just a great generation of warfighters. And it looks like Russia's trying to dominate with the Wagner Group, Africa. We need a plan to counter it. The USS Truxtun is in the area, destroyer, to hopefully hold on to that port. Thanks so much, Congressman, for all you do.